What I want us to look at, this is something that I did an opinion on. Map release, I'm looking at, but sometimes, I feel like we're not just journalists, but we are citizens. So I wrote this opinion piece about taxation. And then, because not trend when I saw the Alcalo, the chief of in West Coast, Kafoko Molkana tax rate to become area council. And then I saw a National Assembly member echo at the assembly. And I saw the minister's response, and do no presidential advice. And the notion that I picked from there was discouraging people to pay tax at the Brikama area council. But I did an opinion, and I was like, I don't even want to mention Brikama. But what the general notion left a minke the like tax pay. Nali aldadu wotokafu bankudi wala kana tax jo. Abina momin bite la the most is central government.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you cannot discourage citizens from paying taxes. Niyo okay drong because 2021 I think President Barrow talk on a message 2022 a message be mumunity album tax jo. Ako only 25% of government like tax jo. Ako na tax jo. Mesilo do kuno and I was so passionate about that statement. And I keep saying, we should write more stories like this because yalmana wokumat nim banko ntol na advocate mumunity nka kodol minta julol minta siata nta jono bari kodo ka wono masakunda ka nyimin beke na ka keno mentol ni tax jo.
What fato?
But ni ko mole ko central government la tax jo. But kana local government ta jo. And this is coming from a chief of a district, it's coming from a National Assembly member, a lawmaker, it's coming from a presidential advisor. That is very dangerous. I remember one time I was talking to the Commissioner General of GRA. I remember one time we were talking, we wrote some article, and he said to me, Fatu, my objective is Puruka GRA credibility is very important. When citizens lose faith in your tax revenue office, look at tax collect. That is very serious. The reason why sometimes negative stories will article of no because negative stories will theater about the tax tata lose the faith le majo banko we crumble. And this is what I see is coming. Alkafo mole kana tax do Brikama area council. But Brikama area council are resident to almost 50% of the Gambian
population.
Ika mole kana tax do. Ni majo ni ko mole ko ni ko fato e kana tax do. Nde malam fa Brikama lade. Nde hani man sakunda tanda jola. And then what are you encouraging? Non-payment of tax.
Exactly. And what they forget is when Brikama area council collects that tax, the bulk of it goes to central government.
Dangerous.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, if central government is telling you don't pay tax to become an area council, they are shooting themselves in the foot.
Exactly.
But the other side of the story, when Barrow is telling us pay tax, Barrow doesn't pay a butut in tax. Yet he earns $500,000 a month. But he doesn't pay a butut in tax. Why is that? How is that fair? How is that fair?
But in the constitution,
that has to change.
Okay.
Has to change.
You have to lead by an example.
Yeah. But you see, taxation.
American president.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We give this guy everything, even including clothing. We give him everything. Yeah. $150. I heard CDK saying $150,000. Who are they taking for fools?
Akama 150
budget. Forget about Depanso, but the total amount going to the State House is more than the National Assembly and Judiciary combined.
Did you see the Askanwi story that they broke? They were allocated 80 million. They spent over 150.
Yeah. But that's what happens every time. And when they are short of money, they just do violence.
Exactly.
And they just transfer the money.
There's no budget credibility.
Charles, what is wrong with the internet? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So when they are short of money, they just do violence and move here and nobody asks any questions. And the parliament doesn't ask questions. And parliament allocates those resources. So they should be asking questions. Why do you have so many violence happening? They don't ask questions. Anything goes. Okay? Gambia government is not accountable to anybody. And that is what is alarming and has to stop.
Yeah.
The National Assembly should hold them accountable. They have the possibility of summoning any minister or the president or the vice president to come and explain things.
Yeah.
Why don't they do it? Because it's NPP controlled and they're just doing the president's bidding. Yeah.
Yeah,
So until we tell our people, even if you don't win the case, continue summoning them. You know?
Yeah, but they don't pay me. Come work on a tax bill.
No, I mean, it's very concerning. If in fact, if you look at the tax revenue in the Gambia, the different sources, one of the sources, Mialonko, is contributing almost a minuscule to non-existent amount, well, in property tax. In many countries in the world, this is one of the biggest sources of capital, and it's also biggest sources of tax revenue.
Yeah.
Tax revenue, it is the kind Mialonko abuka distortion or create back.
Yeah.
You know, people own a lot of land here. What you can talk about, okay, it is a mansakundati. It is a lua keno like the property tax. You know, in every region, this level let.
Yeah.
The area council dama on their own, well, they operate within a discretion that they are given. Nita tata and nilbe ming if you collect motor for like Brikama area council, well, they selected this amount. Since this new administration on that motor for like Brikama area council, they took this amount and they spend this amount and wasted this other amount.
No.
Well, they've accounted for everything they've been collect. Honestly. They are very transparent about
honest,
it.
Yeah. One of the most transparent.
Yes, they are telling
me
but whether you are supporter you are not a supporter of them. Yes. Iman kodota e tulungala yebe kodota kan ibe doko ka and you know that nyilbe nyinta kan thing they are and he's elected ne nyiltata ay mol alaman korola mialon kamanya nakela he will face the consequences. Amanka he's not somebody imposed on the people. He's elected. And it's so ibuka you just for because of political reasons, just for short-term political gain. Announcement you are getting in the way of something Mialonko is for the national benefit. They are not thinking in the general interest because anything Mialonko, you are constraining the ability of the government to generate revenue from any kind of tax. Nicoleko, he broke the law. He said something he's supposed to do. He brought a whole new assessment. Isa foko okay, alinga stop. But often there is a due process. Luale fanembi. Anita ni molla. I lua break dabi. But it wuli. These useless people milkela advice me alonko in any sensible situation in the world. Mote do sano kela advice to an alcalo. Much more to an alcalo of a president. I mean the advice of a president. Had alcalo do be saying nin do sano na ko mbekela advice it is son. Yet I will come advice it.
Political affairs.
But Pakala Diamo be than the political affairs. Amanta Diamo can tax school. When is tax a part of his purview? What's an economic affairs matter?
That's why Gambia is a sad case. When you have people like that.
It's like it's like we are in some sort of like a very sad theater, except that this is reality. Somebody like Dusan, we know long about public finance, tax revenue generation, the appropriate tax rate.
The chief himself, that chief, it turned out that he owes years of taxation to Brikama Area Council. And he was paying the bare minimum.
I will not even blame the chief right now, but because what he's getting is cue from somewhere. Niwo chief diamuta but masakunda la nyaton ko diamuta ya nyitandi wala mumusiloti. This area council is duly elected and they are operating within law. More ya sembo sotole ning ibe tax me lake natra siata. There are processes. Now after they are doing the assessment wrong. After the assessment is wrong. Make sure that next election you know your.
And honestly, the Itolka increase me from 4. It was during Sirifo time. It was approved by Musa Drame, the then Minister of Local Government. So, covering Honorable Memorial say I raised at the Assembly. Honorable Alaji Dawoka, oh no, in fact, the Minister Besirinjang, Atele approved He went through the process time, and this
Exactly.
was through still for a time. So
Exactly.
why are you people bringing this up and making it look like it's Yankuba problem? For me, it's not even the political angle. For me, it's nobody should discourage citizens from paying taxes. Niake drong ibe bankola patandika.
No.
To be honest, the president, for example, Lola ako Gambia no buka tax ako only 25% la kajo. And the woman bete banko.
Yes,
But
Gambia
the julol kana lankan.
But it politics dundije because Yakuba NPP fenkuotin. They would not have done that.
And Yankuba, look at
If
this.
Yankuba was an NPP candidate or his party affiliation was NPP, yinyinketa atakela. It is politics dundije because
Yes.
adu politics manyenatar like.
Yeah, honestly.
And what's more, Yankuba is the chairman who has distributed $28 million to his constituents
Yeah.
a few weeks ago.
When they came,
Last
the
year,
account
he
was
distributed
red.
14 million
Yeah,
after having paid back over $10 million
in
deficit.
deficit. Yeah.
I mean, Taraji.
Yeah.
He cleared that, and he distributed $14 million last year.
And this year, 28
Half a
just
million
weeks
per
ago.
ward. You know, he distributed 28 million, 1 million per ward, and is promising 2 million per ward next year. That's going to be 56 million.
Yeah.
After having created over 350 jobs in less than 2 years. After having sunk over 70 boreholes in West Coast region. After having given scholarships to close to 3,000 kids in West Coast region.
And I think his biggest challenge is fighting corruption in his council.
Yes.
Yeah,
But he has overcome that now.
Yeah.
And now he's getting his resources to finance his development agenda.
Honestly.
About 3,000 kids' school fees, you're paying that.
Yeah.
Some of them at university.
Yeah.
You create over 350 jobs.
Yeah.
You sunk over 70 boreholes. And you still manage to distribute $28 million to your constituents.
Yeah.
We should be holding that guy in high esteem.
Honestly,
and showcasing his achievements.
Honestly, I think, what he took over and where we are today, I mean, they are really trying.
And this is the guy who they
encourage them.
tried to break in every single way.
Yeah.
They went to the point of arresting his
From court.
entire council.
Yeah.
Exactly.
From courts to police
No, the
stations.
thing is, if your interest is national development,
Yeah.
and you see examples of things that are happening. Me, I'm not a member of UDP.
Yeah.
I have no reason to
Support Yankuba.
support Yankuba. I'm not on his staff.
Yeah.
But if certain things when they're happening, let's tell the truth.
Yeah.
Even if the borough government today, I'm criticizing them. When I see them do something
You
that is
have
right,
always
I will
said
tell
it.
them.
Yeah, you said it.
Yeah.
We wish we could save some of that.
We have to correct the misinformation they themselves are engaging in.
Definitely.
This, especially, some of these, the things that Dr. Cisse is going online where he's proclaiming one thing and the reality is completely different. When you come to in front of the Gambian people, we know the NAVEC situation as it is right now. You come and open your eyes and face the nation with a straight face and say that we are going to have universal power in in a year from now? I mean, you are basically laughing in the face of the people.
What does the law say about giving false information?
Apparently, that law doesn't apply to the Minister of Information.
You can don't charge you all the matter and you know giving false information.
Yeah, it depends on who's giving the
This
information.
government, it is this government that published a roadmap
Yeah.
that was approved by the Adam Barrow cabinet.
Yeah.
That energy roadmap says Gambia will have 100% electricity access when? 2025 already. By now we should have
2025.
we are already here. This same government approved by a cabinet the cabinet of Adam Barrow himself. The energy roadmap.
And we have never been further away from energy
From it.
self-sufficiency.
And did you hear this government come back say that we are the one who made this promise? This is where we are for this and these reasons. We didn't reach the goal we set. Well, now we are changing it, and we believe we've learned our mistakes. Now we are embarking on another, phase of it. No. What did we get? The Minister of Finance, who probably did, the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Information, who probably didn't read the energy roadmap. I'm pretty sure Dr. Ismail Cisse didn't even read the energy roadmap to know what is happening there. If he reads it, he probably doesn't understand half of it. But yet he will have no problem going before the nation, making another proclamation that we are going to have universal access in a year, when he is completely oblivious to the fact that the government already made a promise and that time period has arrived and we didn't attain that promise they made.
And that is why it's important for us to come out and discuss these issues of the nation.
Yeah.
Because they think that our memories are so fickle, we will forget those things.
Yeah.
You know?